Jesus. What is that?
So good to see you. You look stunning. Congratulations on the film. My favorite part of the movie was like how gory it is. It is so gory that I wanted to first ask you, what was like the wildest scene you shot when it came to guts and limbs?
I think the visitor center sequence, the bear takes out a few people in that sequence. When the closet opens, we haven't shown anyone what's in that closet. You've seen it. So I think the stuff in the closet was the most intense. And we actually ended up cutting back on some of it because I think people were too, I didn't want people to literally want to vomit. I wanted them to get close, but not actually go there.
Can you tell me a little bit about what you cut out? Because I'm so curious now.
It was just a more lingering shots, more on things sort of like moving a little bit, not quite dead things, even though they're about to be, things like that.
Okay. I loved the gore. Was there anything that you wanted to do that you couldn't when it came to the gore? Like, was there or did you?
No, everybody was, I presented the idea for how gory I thought the film would be right at the very beginning. Everybody bought into it. Lord and Miller, Universal, we were all on board. We all kind of held hands and went forward with it. We had incredible prosthetics work, people making limbs and heads and, anything that we needed. All of the blood that was, used on set, buckets of blood. If you're going to have a bear who's high on cocaine going on a bender and, ripping into people, there had to be some sort of heightened sense of what that is. And I very unfortunately went down the rabbit hole at the beginning of looking at what real animal attack victims look like, and I do not recommend that. But if you were to do that, you would see that we did a very good job of representing how gnarly that can be.
No, you did incredible. I was reading that you actually did that. I mean, this stuff must have come up in your dreams at some point when you're so engrossed in a project. That happens for me at least. So thank you for going through that for us. I think it paid off. What was one of the most wildest moments on set? Like, if you close your eyes and think back, what was the moment, Elizabeth, where you were like, I can't believe I am directing a movie about a bear?
Gosh, what was the wildest one? Was that? I mean, probably with the hikers, the very beginning. Hannah Hoekstra was, she played a small role in Charlie's Angels. We really loved her. She came in for this so willingly, and it's in the trailers too, her being dragged back. She did that herself, her own stunt, multiple times, ripped up her entire stomach. I mean, she was so committed to it that I was kind of horrified, and I really didn't want to keep going. And she was like, no, I want to get it right. She was just so into it. And I think that for me, the commitment of the people around me is what really got me through the whole process. I was just stunned by everyone's, total commitment to getting this thing right across the board.
Can I just tell you that opening scene was my favorite? Because I am in nature a lot. I have an alter ego, Nature Naz. And the line, Elizabeth, I lost it. No one else was laughing in the theater. But when they're like, we get so lucky in nature. I'm like, I've said that so many times when I've encountered wildlife. It was so realistic. I wanted to ask you, what tips would you have for people who love nature, who maybe would encounter a bear on cocaine?
Well, I'll tell everybody, no matter what.
Top survival tips.
Well, we tell you in the movie, if it's brown, lay down, and if it's black, fight back. That is the truth. You're very unlikely to come across a grizzly bear in the lower contiguous 48 states. They're really only in the very northern states. But black bears are pretty predominant all throughout the U.S. They're also very friendly. I don't want this movie to be like Jaws, where it causes people to really fear, bears in the woods. Just stay away from them. You should not be going up to wild animals, period, full stop. Doesn't matter what they are. Leave the animals alone. Look, don't touch. That's my main advice.
I love that. I love that you brought it back to that because I'm very conscious and I love wildlife a lot. But I also own bear spray. So there
you go. Yep.
You just have to be safe. Was there ever at any point a real bear on set?
No, but I'm so happy to hear you ask that question because it means we did a really good job creating a bear out of CGI. No, we never had no real bears, no real animals on set. No animals were harmed in the making of the movie or used or ever contemplated. Maybe some bees that we had to catch, but that was about it.
Nice. I was reading and keep hearing about Cokie the bear, can you explain what that is? It was a face of a bear?
So Cokie, we did create just a head of the bear with like its full fur and her markings. She's Cokie, as we call the bear, has particular markings so you know that it's our bear. And that bear came to set every day as sort of a reference for lighting, for framing, you know, if we put the bear for angles, for the camera. And so that the crew and cast knew what the bear was going to look like, because of course they're acting with a guy in a black suit and green balls, you know, and marks on the ground. So this was a way for everybody to go, oh, okay, that's how big its head is. That's how big its nose is. That's how big its eyes are going to be.
Wow. Do you have Cokie the bear at home?
Cokie now lives at my house, yes. Cokie's in my office and terrifies all who enter that don't know that they're going to see him.
That's so cool. I want to see a photo of it. I also love that you guys called it Cokie. Another thing I loved about the film, obviously, was getting to see Ray Liotta, the iconic Ray. I would love to ask you, what was it like working with him and what you think fans can expect from his last performance?
I loved working with him. He was fantastic. He came so joyfully to set every day. He was so game for this project. I really felt like he's so charming and he has a real mischievousness about him. And I felt like that little twinkle, that's what this character needed. And he brought that in spades. He really loved working in Ireland. He'd lived in this beautiful little town. And my favorite memory of him is actually of him walking arm in arm with his fiancée, JC, down the street after dinner, laughing. I saw them through a window, and in my mind's eye, when I think of Ray, that's what I picture.
I love that. I love when you have like a beautiful sort of image that pops up. I think here is name. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Before I go, first of all, again, such a joy to meet you and get to talk to you about this. I really loved it. There's a lot of talk about this movie. I've read interviews where you've talked about the risk of this film for you personally. And I feel like we're in this kind of special moment where it's yours and the world hasn't seen it yet. Some people have seen it. And so I kind of just want to know how you're feeling right now.
I'm cautiously optimistic. You know, I know that the movie is really thrilling to audiences. I've seen it with audiences, so I know that the ride is real and that the laughs are real, that the scares are real. I just want people to be entertained. You know, this was not meant to be anything more than that. Like I made this movie in a pandemic. Chaos was all around us. I just wanted to bring people together for a communal experience. I wanted to sort of honor some of my favorite filmmakers and films from the past. I really felt like all the references came together for this movie in a great way. And I have an incredible cast, and I cannot wait for people to see this cast.
Me too. And I'm so proud of you. Thank you for making it. But just because you said that, I have to ask you one more thing. I wish I had like a million minutes with you. Is there a specific reference that you would love for people to pick up on? Because I love film references.
There's a little bit of Stand By Me and a little bit of Jurassic Park in the movie. We are literal exact shots from Jurassic Park in this movie in the tree sequence.
You want to expand this world at all? Would you do Cocaine Shark at all?
Everyone's asking. It's got to be a great script, you know? That's the main thing. I got to know, like, what's the shark's motivation?
The bear, it did cocaine. A bear did cocaine.
So obviously, you know, you guys were playing up against an actor, Alan Henry, I think that's his name, who was playing the bear. And I was wondering if there were any memorable interactions with him that you guys had on set.
I mean, when you see Alan's giant self walking around, you know,
Yeah.
just on stilts,
Yeah.
on all fours. At the end of the day, it's a grown man in a black leotard. Like, at the end of the day, I know you're supposed
With
to
a
be
bear
a
hat
bear,
on, yeah.
but like you out here dancing with Alden, kicking rocks. It's just like weird to look at. There's no way around it. We're all professional. We're all actors, but it's just like, Alan, get out of here, bro. You giant.
Was there any specific moment that you guys had with him that you're just like, you just couldn't stop dying?
My first day, I like, you know, you show up to the first day of a movie, it's like first day of school, and I got in my trailer, and I was like, had my stuff, and I was putting it away, whatever, and then I opened the door, and they were doing the practice of the running, and he had all his stuff on and was running in the parking lot and doing the bear run. It was wild. I took a little video. Yeah, it was great.
O'Shea, do you have one that like sticks out to you like that?
I mean, him and Alden were pretty close in a certain scene, and that's just not cool to look at all the time. You know, it's funny the first few minutes, but then it's like, we ain't get this shot yet. I'm uncomfortable. So, yeah, but, you know, like I said, he's such a dope guy. He's from New Zealand, if I'm not mistaken. I think I'm right on that.
I think you're right.
But, yeah, he's a dope dude.
Yeah.
Hearing stories about all of his creature work on things like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
You know, as
Him and I got ice cream together.
I bet after
Yeah, we
that
did.
scene y'all did.
We had some post-coital ice cream. Yeah.
I'm a professional.
I'm actually crying right now. He said, I bet after that.
You bet, at least you could do.
Alden, what was that? What, as much as you can tell me and us, I'm sure people are gonna, you know, be watching this before and after the film, what that scene was like for you.
It was fun. You're doing it, and I mean, you just try. I watched a lot of videos of real bear attacks and stuff, so that's what kind of keeps you in the thing of what it would really be like, because it's not funny when it really happens. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, you stop laughing real quick. O'Shea, I've heard you talk about Alden having this sort of wind-up process before getting into it. And I was hoping that you could regale us with what that is.
Please.
All right, so Alden is the first person I've ever worked with that really he got this thing where he winds up into whatever the first line of the scene is, and like you'll see him start pacing, and he'll start fidgeting, and his shoulders start going, and then when action happens, he rolls into the scene like we were just talking about it, and it's impressive. But yeah, it's the wind up. It's just like, you know, he's getting that engine going, and once it's going, the lawnmower's on, baby. And yeah, it's definitely something that I think I'm gonna steal from you. You're pretty good.
The lawnmower.
The lawnmower, man.
Like
Lawnmower
that,
man
yeah.
over here. But yes, the wind up. He got a pace, goes back and forth. Don't talk to him. He's in his zone. You might get killed. That's just how he is.
I just want to watch movies from now on with you both co-starring. This interview,
Great.
this is it right here. Alden, does O'Shea have a wind-up sort of process or something that you can speak to?
It's different. No, Shay's so fun. You know, Shay is so fun. He's making the whole cast laugh. He's yelling out stuff, and all the Irish people are cracking up. And a lot of damn, a lot of that. And
Wait,
you know,
what's
so it
that?
kept
Is
it
that
really
an inside
fun.
joke? What's the damn?
It's just a lot. That's not really an inside joke. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
stuff
just-
he says.
Yeah, I just, you know,
Yeah.
I'm real
About
good.
Ireland.
I'm real
Yeah.
good at cursing. I come from a long line of cursors. And it's, you know, it's just adjectives sometimes to get myself in the zone.
Right.
And yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed.
We played some game about naming movies or something. Do you remember?
Oh
that?
yeah, I throw random trivia
Right.
questions like
Right.
you know, give me 20 Jim Carrey movies, and everyone's always like, all right, yeah, I got that easy, until you get to about 16.
Yeah.
And it's like,
That's right.
So,
Yes Man.
Yeah, I love, Yes Man. That's always a good one. Mr. Popper's Penguins. But anyway, it's a fun game. Keep us busy on set.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You guys are both so hilarious. I have to ask you then, what because this energy is so good, what would your top survival tips be for people who would encounter a bear on cocaine?
Number one, don't go. That's for sure. Any survival thing, just don't go.
Don't run.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think I learned more about how to deal with bear attacks during the movie. I need to remember though what I learned. I don't really remember. But don't run is a big one.
Yeah, huge one.
And if you're lost and you need water, you suck on a button. You take a button off your shirt and you suck on it. It stimulates saliva and that keeps you hydrated. That's not so bear related, but it's still important.
Yeah.
For anyone who's watching this that is also stuck in the woods.
Right. Anyone watching this stuck in the woods.
They just have reception they can watch.
So black bears you can like scare off. Grizzly bears you just duck down.
We got to be right about this.
And cocaine bears you're done for.
Right, yeah.
It's over.
We got to be right about that. I'm laughing because I feel like I'm on planes all the time, and I'm like, oh, I know what I'll do because I've seen the video so many times that I'm like, what if I forget in the moment?
Yeah.
So you're
exactly.
We're all like that. Yeah, exactly.
I sit and watch Naked and Afraid, and I just think to myself, there's no situation where I'm gonna be naked. You know, so it's not really a good show to really judge myself on.
You'll just be afraid.
Yeah, I'm just afraid. Clothed and scared.
Clothed and scared. I would watch that. Before I let you guys go, you had just the incredible living experience of being able to work with the iconic Ray Liotta. Wanted to know what that was like. You know, what was it like playing off him, and what can fans expect from his last performance?
Yeah, I mean, he's such a phenomenal actor. It was so thrilling. I remember doing some of the scenes with him and just like being in the scene. And it's one of those experiences where, you know, when he really brought it and we were really connected in that way, it was just thrilling because he was just so phenomenal and just a really sweet man. Had a lot of fun with the movie. I'm really grateful I got to work with him.
Yeah, grateful is, you know, that's the perfect word. In my career, I've been able to work with a lot of cool people, and then, like, you know, Ray Liotta is iconic, and, you know, just making them laugh, cracking jokes on set. The news was just so shocking. The first person I called was Elizabeth. Like, there's no way, and she goes, "Yeah, I know." And us filming, I had to go do ADR. And just seeing him while you're doing ADR, it just gives me chills. But, you know, we loved having Ray. I think he would have loved the film, and I expect everyone else to love it as well.
You're safe. Bears can't climb trees.
Of course I can.
This film really stands up like pretty far apart from the other work that you've done. So I was curious when you read the script, you know, like what was your first reaction?
Liz and I were talking about a different project together, a completely different, tonally different project. And she called me the next day and said, "Hey, do you want to read this thing that I'm directing, this wacky movie?" And it was just at the height of COVID and everything that was going on and how intense that was. And it was just crazy enough that I was like, that's exactly what I should go do. You know, it was like such an escape from just like how intense everything was for everybody. And then Margot Martindale, who I worked with on The Americans, texted me and said, "Are you doing this movie?" And I was like, "Are you doing this movie?" And then I was like, "Now I'm definitely doing this movie." And so it was just Margot and Jesse, Tyler Ferguson and I in the woods laughing our darn heads off. Like with Liz on a microphone going, "Okay, now the bear's eating his face off. Now his legs squirting blood and it's flying off. Now he's eating his stomach." I mean, it was just so gross and so wacky. And in fact, they had a screening so Margot and Jesse and I could all watch it together here in New York.
Yeah.
And we were just screaming, crying, laughing at each other, all being, devoured by this bear in really gross ways.
That's so funny. Is there like, I wish there was a cut of Elizabeth like screaming at you guys, like a behind the scenes.
Oh, it's out there somewhere. Yeah, it's out there somewhere.
So amazing. And it's always so fun. I don't want to call this out of character for you and project on you, but I always like doing things that are out of character for myself. And I don't know, so it feels cathartic in a way. It feels like,
Yeah, I think, since COVID, I don't think I've done something that feels like depressing, or I think we have enough of that right now. It just feels, like the lighter stuff, it feels easier.
Feels
right
good.
It feels
good. If I close my eyes and someone asked me to picture one image of this film, I love fashion, and it would no doubt be the incredible pink ensemble that you were wearing in this.
The costume designer will love that.
Love it. Yeah. Shout out to the costume designers of every film. But also, I was like, I need this outfit. If I asked you to close your eyes and just picture one image, whether it was behind the scenes or on set, like Cocaine Bear, what comes to mind?
Margot Martindale, when she first holds the gun on the bear, and she was on this crazy machine that the stunt set up, where she was holding the gun on the bear. And Jesse and I are just in the background watching her, laughing, like tears streaming down. I was for sure going to pee in my pink jumpsuit. And this machine, like she's holding the gun, and then this machine like yanks her out of frame where the bear is like ripping her, and her hat falls off. And Jesse and I, people were actually filming us because we were laughing so hard, rolling on the ground laughing.
That's amazing. That's an incredible image. Another one I had is just obviously of all the cocaine. And of course, there was a bunch of fake cocaine on set. I was wondering if you knew what they used for that white powder.
I don't know what they used. We just always used real cocaine, but I don't know what they did in their scenes, but.
Oh, so you guys had real cocaine on set. Oh, Kerri, we're just meeting today. You can't do that to me.
The producers just went, what the is she saying? I'm like, guys, I'm just trying to be honest.
I'm from Miami, so that's pretty believable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, you can roll with this, right? No, I think it was like sugary something. I didn't actually do any scenes with that. The kids did, and like Jesse did, because he falls in it. But so I should ask him. I think it was like sugar, some kind of sugary something.
Okay, that's interesting. That's cool to know. That's so funny. I was also wondering, Alan Henry is the person who was the bear on set.
Yeah.
What was it like interacting with Alan, playing the bear? And do you think that he had the hardest job on set?
I think grown men having to wear unitards is hard in front of, at work. I think that's a tough job. But no, they're amazing, the Weta guys. I've worked with those guys before. They are incredible, and it does help enormously to be not just imagining, but to have someone who has the movement, and then, even having someone who's supposed to be like kind of sneaking up behind you, you feel that. So it only helps. But I do have to say, hearing Elizabeth scream, what's actually happening blow by blow is also really fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a play-by-play. I need to like listen.
I think that's the one I'd pick.
Totally, because it's more imaginary. Like there's no constriction in the imagination.
Yeah, it's her just being silly. Yeah.
Right. So fun. Oh my goodness. Do you have survival tips for people if they were to encounter a bear on cocaine in the wild?
Ooh, I sure don't. I mean, at that point, do some with the bear and hope for the best, because it's not going to end well. It's really not going to end well for you. If our film is any indication, not many make it out alive in our film. Yeah.
That's a great tip. I mean, that's a great tip. Yeah. It would probably hurt less too.
I think so.
Like if you got attacked. Yeah.
If you're going to go out big,
Yeah, 100%. What was it like working with Elizabeth, or Liz as you call her?
She's so, she has like a real easy confidence to her. And she's just a pro. She's been doing this forever. I mean, I feel like one of my favorite things I remember seeing her in was Wet Hot American Summer. And she plays that like trashy girl, like really sloppy French kissing Paul Rudd. She's so funny. She's so smart. She's totally capable. And the thing about her as a director, she's really unflappable. Like, so, you know, like it would start pouring rain and she wouldn't freak out and like lose her and like yell at people. She's like, okay, this is what we're doing now. Like she's a very capable, confident person, and that lends itself very well to directing. She can run a huge crowd. It was at the height of COVID. There were so many rules. There were so many like, you know, things holding us back. And she just, you know, did it all with ease. She had a complete vision of how gory and how wacky she wanted this to be. And she really fought for it. And I think she did a great job. And I hope this does really well for her.
Me too. I loved the gore. I actually got to talk to her about it because wasn't even expecting it to be that gory.
Nor was I.
It's amazing.
And it went for it.
So good. Kerri, you are so hilarious yourself. I was curious, did you have any scenes with Ray Liotta, the late iconic Ray Liotta?
I did. No, I didn't have a ton with Ray. But yeah, I mean, crazy. And yeah, he was awesome. He was just easy and awesome and kind and sensitive and there and a good sport. You know what I mean? Because we were all doing such crazy stuff. But yeah, crazy. Liz saw him a little bit more than I did.